This video is looking at restoration hardware stock. My general bias based on the charts is going to be to the downside, even though in the short term, it's definitely possible. I mean, this is a monthly time frame, by the way, guys. This is how I prefer to look at charts. I look for the symmetry in the charts, and well, it's telling me if I want anything to do with this stock, it would be down here, all right, at this $86-ish line. I mean, that's based on timing. Now, the timing of this move, I based on it finding a bottom in February of 2026. And actually, let me show you how I came up with that target. So did you know in restoration hardware, RH, that if you go from the bottom that was put in February of 2019, right here, and you go from there to the top that was put in August of 2021, which is 1,034 trading days apart, that you can then go out 1,034 days into the future. And I am just guessing on a hunch. This is a very small sample, and it's definitely not a strong technical lean, but in terms of just an arbitrary date for a bottom, my bias is that that will be found in February of 2026. And it is under a declining 200-day moving average, guys. So, I mean, the bias should be to the down. I mean, this is not financial advice, by the way. Got to get that out of the way. I would not be getting super aggressive on stocks that are under a declining 200-day moving average. You can dollar cost average into shares. I wouldn't be doing any derivatives, options. Wouldn't be using leverage on it personally. But what this chart is telling me is that the maximum point of symmetry on the high time frame, going back to the IPO all the way back here in 2012 on the left side of the screen, to me, max symmetry would be reached down here, okay, under $100. If it gets there in February, it would be about $86, $87. And what I do here on Market Symmetry is I set TradingView automated alerts so I don't have to watch this stock every single day. If it gets down there to my target, TradingView will alert me, hey, perfect, pristine entry time. And that could be 3 months in the future from when I record this, and I'll still go and I will slam dunk my money into this stock with confidence. All right, and that is how I operate on this channel. If that's something you're interested in, I can share these alerts with you if you sign up for Market Symmetry Pro. That's the top link in the description. Here's another chart for restoration hardware. So that first view was a linear chart. Okay, this is a log chart. So same data set. This is the weekly time frame instead of the monthly. It doesn't really make a difference, whichever you choose to look at. But to me, this is also showing symmetry to the $86 level. Okay, I mean, the way that this is charted is assuming that we do go down to $86. You don't have to do charts like this, but when I charted it as if the bottom is in, which is usually the first way I look at most charts, I wasn't happy with how it looked. To me, it was saying, hey, it needs to put in a more like high time frame macro bottom in early 2026. Now, if you guys have been subscribed to this channel, you've noticed a lot of these videos I'm doing are showing that 2026 looks like it's going to be a big year, like on par with 2020 after interest rates were cut to zero. And they ran for like a year. Small caps ran, large caps ran, Bitcoin ran, cryptos ran. To me, that's my outlook for 2026. This is another company telling me the same thing, but it's also telling me there might be some pain, which often is the case. It's like the equivalent of the COVID sell-off, even though you could say, oh, well, COVID was a real catalyst, whatever. It doesn't matter what you call it. On the charts, it served the purpose. You can see it right here. It served the purpose. It resets all the momentum oscillators, and then it acts as a spring, and look what comes next. You sit through, or you don't sit through, honestly. That's where the automated trading view alerts go. You have to live through this 64% sell-off, and then after that, guys, or you just buy the bottom there. I mean, look where it sold off to, right around the midpoint of this channel, which is, again, a nice little feather in my cap telling me I think I'm right about the below $100 forecast for early 2026. After that, you get an 886% rally in 58 weeks, basically 1 year. This thing came up just shy. Well, actually, if you measure from the exact bottom, it did. It went 10x. If you measure from the exact bottom right there to the exact top, it went literally 10x. So hard to beat that, guys. There's also an RSI high time frame monthly support that I believe we could get pushed down to. I mean, we're basically talking about RH getting sawed in half from where it is currently, up at 163 as I record this. Could kick us down to that monthly RSI support. If you guys are seeing the bottom of the screen down here, might honestly take us below there. So it all depends. I mean, time will tell. Currently, the monthly RSI is at about 40, and it would need to come down to like 33.9. So that one I'm less sure of. That to me, if it actually did go down to the high 80s, 90s target. The monthly RSI would probably go down through there. So that one's a little bit harder to reconcile. And if I close the RSI real quick, one thing that is in my mind, no one's going to dispute this to me with a straight face, is that Restoration Hardware needs to get above this 165 level. Okay, if it's not above that 165 level, it's telling you what comes next, in my opinion, and that is more selling. You know, that is bias to the downside. I drew one line on this chart. Sometimes, you know, the best charts are one line. And that white trend line right there, connecting this right there to this right here. It's basically telling you like that is a significant line. I'm surprised the sell-off didn't really accelerate after we closed below it in November. It looks like December's struggling to get back above it. You can see, I mean, as I record this even, look where it is, right? Price action's right up against it. If it doesn't recover that, you get back-to-back months of closing below that, it would tell me that, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if the end of December it gets a little bit of a head start if it is going to sell off, you know, to and below 100. But time will tell. I mean, I wouldn't treat this stuff like an exact science. You don't have to go, the whole thing is you don't have to go short. Like this thing is, well, if you're going to trade it at all though, it's under a declining 200-day moving average. Like my bias would be to go short, but you don't have to trade everything. Like you don't have to be in a position for every stock. You know, if I had to pick one right now, yeah, the bias would be that it closes that gap to the downside. But in real life, all I really want to do is get a pristine 10 out of 10 entry. And to me, I'm seeing the signs that that's going to be on this trend line right here. Okay, if it doesn't happen in February, that's fine. Whenever it gets to the trend line, I'm going to get that automated TradingView alert. I'm going to tell everybody in my Market Symmetry Pro community that, hey, RH, Restoration Hardware, stock is at, you know, basically the dream entry point. And the cool thing is if it loses this support, well, you can reevaluate and you could cut ties, but you'd basically be going long at what should act as a spring. You know, it should basically be the equivalent of what you saw right here, you know, right before this. And if you guys didn't know, you can actually open the PMI up, the Purchasing Manufacturers Index. And this is pretty indicative of the business cycle, guys. And what you'll notice is that when this thing goes up, okay, when the PMI goes up, typically so do stocks. All right, goes up right here. What do you see right there? Okay, goes up right here. What do you see right there? So what I'm expecting is this is one of the longest consolidations the PMI's ever done. You know, we're talking about from Q2 2021. And I'm expecting it to start picking up into 2026. And a lot of the charts are telling us, in my opinion, that is going to be the case. So it's not financial advice, but that is currently what I'm seeing. That's what you guys are here for. And then the last chart, I shared this earlier, but again, this 1,134 trading day pulse, if you will it play out? Will it not? I don't know. I've seen other charts, though, where it's consistent. You know, I mean, one of them would be the MSTR chart real quick. I'll show you guys. Okay, let me zoom out. Check this out. I mean, it's reminding me of MSTR because look, MSTR, the 2021 top right there to the 2022 bottom was 474 days. Guess what? If you go 474 days out from there, you got the next top, right? So it doesn't mean it's an exact science, but when you see these patterns stacking up on other stocks, you can't help but wonder. And if you had to put a time to when it finds a bottom, as it is under a declining 200-day, why not? Hope that there's symmetry not only in the lanes that govern price action and basically tell us where to be expecting these high time frame macro pivots, but how about also symmetry in the time frames that bottoms and tops are put in? I mean, how awesome is that, guys? What would it be worth to you to get access to my trade alerts that are based on high time frame, high probability setups in the charts and momentum oscillators? You'll also get access to me to request new charts or updated existing charts. And we're going to establish high time frame price targets that could be either to the upside or the downside. I then set up automated alerts in TradingView, and Market Symmetry Pro members are alerted immediately when they trigger. So if that sounds like something that would benefit you and your trading or investing, I look forward to seeing you inside.